Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of Military Forces Unleashed. Today, we're about to take a high-stakes journey into the world of the F-22 Raptor. This isn't just any fighter jet, it's a marvel of modern engineering, a symbol of ambition that aimed to put the US on top of the skies, no matter the cost. Imagine being in the cockpit of this $150 million jet, knowing you're in command of something so advanced that it practically rewrote the rulebook on air superiority. In this episode, we're diving deep into the story behind the Raptor. From the initial dream of a jet that no radar could detect, to the billion-dollar headaches it caused, to finally achieving air dominance at a price no one could have imagined. We're talking hard facts, absurd budgets, mind-blowing capabilities, and some surprising lessons that change the future of air combat forever. So buckle up. This is going to be an intense, unapologetic look at the jet that became a legend before it even left the runway. The 1980s were closing out with a bang, or at least the US Air Force intended it that way. The world was transitioning out of the Cold War, but military strategy was shifting gears, and America's defense planners knew the skies were about to become more contested than ever. Imagine this briefing. Design a fighter so advanced that enemy pilots wouldn't just lose to it, they'd never even see it coming. That's a tall order, and yet that's exactly what Lockheed Martin took on. This was the beginning of the F-22 Raptor, an aircraft that aimed to change everything we knew about air dominance. The F-22 wasn't merely a step forward. It was a technological gamble, a bid to craft the most superior fighter jet the world had ever seen, at any cost. And when I say any cost, that's not just poetic license. From the start, the stakes were astronomical. They wanted this jet to be fast, maneuverable, invisible to radar, and lethal beyond belief. Before it even left the drawing board, the Raptor had a reputation. It would either be the plane to outclass all others, or the most expensive misfire in military history. From day one, the F-22 was an engineer's nightmare, wrapped in a politician's budget crisis. This plane had a price tag that would make even the Pentagon wince. The development costs alone were colossal, surpassing $60 billion by the time it rolled out. And with each unit costing around $150 million, you can imagine the pressure to get it perfect. This wasn't just a fighter jet, it was a black hole for military funds, and that black hole had a seemingly endless appetite. Then came the technical challenges. Let's start with the engines. The Pratt & Whitney F-119 engines were marvels of engineering, theoretically capable of pushing the Raptor to Mach 2.25. But in practice, these engines tended to overheat, causing stress on other systems and putting test pilots in dicey situations at high altitude. The electronics? Incredibly advanced for the time, yet with the reliability of a teenager's first car. Constant bugs, malfunctions, and the occasional total systems failure that had pilots sweating in a cockpit thousands of feet above ground. The avionics suite, supposedly designed to make the pilot's life easier, would sometimes throw up errors that only a software engineer could appreciate, creating moments where pilots found themselves wrestling more with the plane than any potential enemy. And then there was stealth. Everyone knew the F-22 had to be invisible to radar. That was a non-negotiable. But making a 19-meter-long, multi-ton aircraft disappear was a massive engineering hurdle. The special materials and complex shaping needed to deflect radar waves required precise work and constant adjustments. Even tiny issues, like a rivet slightly out of place, could ruin the radar profile. The level of upkeep on the Raptor's stealth characteristics alone added hundreds of millions to the budget. With billions already sunk into the project and expectations at an all-time high, Lockheed Martin had to innovate on an unprecedented scale. Supercruise was a major breakthrough. Finally, a fighter jet that could sustain supersonic speeds without afterburners, making it faster and more fuel-efficient in combat. This was a game-changer, offering a serious speed advantage without sacrificing stealth. Next up was stealth itself, and here's where the F-22 earned its reputation as the plane that couldn't be seen. Engineers developed radar-absorbing materials using composites that could deflect or absorb radar waves. Every corner, edge, and surface was designed with stealth in mind. Yet, these design quirks also meant more maintenance. Just a scratch on the stealth coating could make the jet pop up on enemy radar, so it demanded constant upkeep. Not exactly ideal for combat, but effective when it worked. Internally, the avionics suite underwent countless tweaks. The Raptor was intended to give the pilot a complete combat picture without information overload. But that balance was difficult to strike, and programming was tweaked and retweaked until pilots finally had something that resembled an intuitive system. In essence, they crafted a brain for the jet, a sophisticated network of sensors, radars, and systems that let the F-22 process massive amounts of data mid-flight. If everything held together, the Raptor could detect enemies, analyze threats, and engage targets, all before they knew what hit them. Fast forward to 2005, and after years of sweat, money, and more than a few technical breakdowns, the F-22 Raptor was finally ready. This was a big deal. On its debut exercises, the Raptor set the standard for air dominance, taking on multiple fighter jets and winning with kill ratios that bordered on absurd. In the hands of a trained pilot, it was a near-invincible force. This wasn't just a plane. It was a declaration. The F-22's raw power, stealth, and maneuverability meant that it could handle threats long before enemy pilots even registered it on their radars. And as it turned out, all the headaches and budgetary pains had bought the US something extraordinary, an aircraft capable of both defending and defining American air dominance. Yet, even in its glory, the Raptor was a double-edged sword. It was a jet with high maintenance needs and limited operational flexibility due to its sheer complexity and cost. Combat ready? Absolutely. Affordable? Hardly. The F-22 was a marvel that most nations couldn't dream of affording, though even the US struggled to justify more than a limited fleet. The F-22 was, and remains, a technological triumph, but it taught the Air Force, and everyone watching, a few hard truths about the price of innovation. The Raptor proved that air superiority can be bought, but at the cost of nearly limitless investment and rigorous maintenance. From the massive budget overruns to the engineering trials, the F-22 highlighted the need for a balance between cutting-edge capability and realistic budget constraints. And while the plane's stealth, speed, and avionics set a new bar, it also underscored the question, was this level of investment sustainable? The world took note. Other countries began building their own stealth fighters, some even opting for cheaper, less ambitious designs. In a way, the Raptor's success reshaped military aviation. Nations realized that cutting edge might be less practical than something cheaper and good enough. The F-22, for all its marvels, underscored that sometimes less can be more. The F-22 Raptor will go down in history as one of the most formidable fighters ever built, a marvel of engineering and a feat of ambition that redefined what a fighter jet could be. In every sense, the Raptor represents the pinnacle of American air dominance, capable of outmaneuvering, outrunning, and outthinking nearly any adversary in the sky. It's a machine that combines stealth, supercruise, and lethality like no other. But beyond its combat prowess, the Raptor stands as a symbol of the costs, complexities, and difficult choices that come with pushing the boundaries of military technology. Each Raptor in service tells a story, not just of victory in the skies, but of the relentless pursuit of superiority, no matter the cost. And that cost was staggering. At around $150 million per plane, the Raptor didn't just push the boundaries of engineering, but also of military budgets. It showed the tension between ambition and reality in modern defense spending. The Raptor is an ace in the sky for every pilot who has the privilege of flying it, offering them unparalleled control and unmatched situational awareness. For those pilots, it's a machine they trust with their lives, and a tool they know can give them the upper hand. But for every official signing the checks, the Raptor is a constant reminder of how steep the price tag of air dominance can really be. With nearly $60 billion invested in the entire program, it raised the question, just how far can military ambition go before it becomes unsustainable? And so we're left to ask, was it worth it? Well, that depends on who you ask. To many in the Air Force, the F-22 is a testament to American ingenuity, an asset that projects U.S. power globally and has no equal. For them, the Raptor's presence in the skies means peace of mind, an assurance that the U.S. has the best of the best, ready to defend its interests and allies. But for others, those who see the costs adding up, the maintenance challenges, and the limited number of Raptors actually deployed, it's an expensive reminder that even the best technology has its limits. For them, the F-22 is a symbol of a dangerous precedent, an ever-growing appetite for cutting-edge technology that might strain even the most generous budgets. Ultimately, the Raptor's place in history is secure. Revered by some, scrutinized by others, it's an achievement as awe-inspiring as it is expensive. The F-22 made the skies safer, without a doubt, but it also made us ask hard questions about the price of that security. It leaves behind a legacy of unrivaled capability, but also of caution. An example of what's possible when you spare no expense, but also a reminder that sometimes the most formidable weapon isn't always the most practical one. The Raptor has reshaped how the world sees air superiority, but it's also shown us the fine line between advancing technology and overreaching ambition. And as we look toward the future of air combat, that's a line worth remembering. And there you have it, folks. The full, unfiltered story of the F-22 Raptor. This jet wasn't just a win for the US, it was a wake-up call for the world. With unmatched speed, stealth, and power, it changed what we thought was possible in the sky. But it's also a reminder of the true cost of dominance, one that sometimes leaves you asking if it was worth the price. If you enjoyed peeling back the layers on the Raptor, hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments. We love hearing from you. And make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Here on Military Forces Unleashed, we're always diving into the tech, the stories, and the legends that shape the military world. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep those eyes on the sky, and remember, real power doesn't come cheap.